General Hospital Spoilers reveal that it feels personal, urgent, and filled with that special kind of tension that only General Hospital knows how to deliver. Jason has always been the quiet hero who gets things done without needing applause, the man who stands in the shadows protecting everyone he loves, and now, after everything he's endured, the idea that he's about to break free from that WSB prison in Jakarta and come storming back to Port Charles has my heart racing in the best possible way. Let me walk you through why this storyline is hitting me so hard. We all remember the moment Jason took the fall for Rocco Falconeri. He stepped up without hesitation, confessing to shooting director Ross Cullum even though every loyal viewer knows the truth. It was young Rocco who pulled the trigger in that moment of fear and confusion. Jason did what Jason has always done. He protected an innocent child from the consequences of a split-second decision. He worked quietly with that imposter Cassius Faison to bury the real story, and in doing so he handed himself over to the WSB on a silver platter. They whisked him away to some secret facility in Jakarta, Indonesia, under the assumption that he was the one who tried to assassinate their director. But here's where the story starts to feel electric. Cullum isn't dead. He survived. And the deeper I think about it, the more I realize this survival is going to unravel everything we thought we knew about loyalty, betrayal, and revenge inside the world of Port Charles. What fascinates me most is how clearly the writers are showing us that Jason is starting to see the full scope of Cullum's crimes. He's not just some rogue agent anymore. He's a double-crosser who secretly teamed up with Jen Sidwell to finish Caesar Faison's twisted final project. The WSB had no idea, of course they were completely in the dark while their own director played both sides. Jason, locked away and cut off from the people he loves, is finally piecing together the magnitude of that betrayal. I can picture him in that cell, his mind working like it always has, calculating every move. He's not the type to sit idle, and that's what makes this escape feel inevitable. I've watched Steve Burton bring Jason to life for decades, and I truly believe the man is capable of the impossible, escaping a high-security WSB facility in Jakarta. To most people, it would sound like a fantasy, but to those of us who follow Jason through mob hits, presumed deaths, and every kind of danger imaginable, it feels like the natural next step in his journey. He's coming home, and he's coming home with one clear purpose: to end the threat Cullum poses once and for all. And oh, how that purpose is going to collide with everything that matters most to him. I've been especially moved by the way this storyline is circling back to Danny Morgan. That boy has grown up so much on screen, and seeing Jason's fierce protectiveness toward his son reminds me why I fell in love with this character in the first place. Cullum is already starting to suspect that Danny might have been involved in the shooting. Can you imagine the kind of danger that suspicion creates? It's not just a theory, it's a ticking time bomb. If Cullum decides to go after Danny to settle the score, the consequences could be devastating. But here's what gives me hope and keeps me glued to every episode. Jason is already sensing that threat. Even from halfway around the world, his fatherly instincts are kicking in stronger than ever. He's not just escaping for his own freedom, he's racing back to shield his son from a man who has already proven he'll stop at nothing. That protective fire in Jason has always been one of the most powerful forces on this show, and right now it feels like it's burning brighter than ever. What really sets this chapter apart from so many others we've seen over the years is the way it's quietly weaving in Jason's complicated history with Sam. I've watched their on-again, off-again love story through every high and low, and the possibility that he might return and reconnect with her on this level feels both tender and dangerous. Sam has been through her own storms lately, and the thought of the two of them standing together again, facing Cullum's growing paranoia and the fallout from all these secrets adds such a rich emotional layer. Cullum may think he's in control, but once Jason and Sam start working in sync, that illusion is going to shatter. It's creating this new kind of obsession for Cullum, one that's far more personal and far more threatening than anything he's faced before. He's already looking over his shoulder, wondering who knows what, and the arrival of Jason Morgan is going to turn that quiet paranoia into full-blown terror. I can feel it building, and it's the kind of slow burn tension that General Hospital does better than anyone. Of course, none of this is happening in isolation. Port Charles is full of people who care deeply about Jason Carley with her unwavering loyalty. Sonny, who has always trusted him like a brother. Even Britt Westburn, whose own complicated path keeps intersecting with these dangerous secrets. Then there are the voices trying to convince everyone that Jason's return is impossible. Jocelyn, Valentin, and Jack Brennan all insisting that no one escapes WSB custody. But I've been around long enough to know better. When the show hints that something is impossible, that's usually the exact moment the writers prove everyone wrong in the most spectacular way. Steve Burton himself has confirmed he's coming back full-time this summer, and that knowledge alone has me counting down the days. Jason isn't just returning, he's returning changed, sharper, more determined, and ready to take his rightful place as the steady heartbeat of Port Charles once again. I keep thinking about how different this feels from the original storylines we followed in years past. Back then, Jason's conflicts were often about balancing his life with Sonny's organization against the pull of family and love. Now, it's layered with international espionage, double agents, and a very real threat to his own child. It's bigger, yet somehow more intimate at the same time. The writers have taken everything we love about Jason, his quiet strength, his moral code, his willingness to sacrifice, and placed it against a backdrop that feels fresh and unpredictable. Cullum's survival has rewritten the rules, and Jason's journey back is going to force every character to re-examine where their true loyalties lie. Will he arrive in time to stop Cullum from targeting Danny? Will his reunion with Sam bring healing or open old wounds? These are the questions that keep me coming back week after week, and I have complete faith that the answers will be worth every minute of the wait. What I love most is how this storyline reminds me why I've stayed loyal to General Hospital for all these decades. It's never just about the drama for drama's sake. It's about people we've come to care for like family. Jason has been part of my television family longer than some of my real relatives. And watching him fight his way home feels like watching an old friend overcome impossible odds. The heat is rising in Port Charles right now. The secrets are piling up, the dangers are closing in, and the promise of Jason's return is hanging in the air like electricity before a summer storm. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. If you've been watching as long as I have, you know that when Jason Morgan sets his mind on protecting the people he loves, nothing, and I mean nothing, will stand in his way. The best is yet to come, and I, for one, will be right here, remote in hand, cheering him on every step of the way.